The next category of your typology is going to be the things you really, really want to donate and that are worthy of donation. The IRS, of course, you can get a non-cash charitable contribution if you donate. And if you donate, you should be aware that you should give like things to like institutions. So art to art museums, books to libraries, etc. And don't give things that are not like that institution's mission. Give things that have parity with that mission. The reason being is the IRS has a little bit of a funny exclusion or inclusion on the 8283 form, which is the form that I would fill out for you for a charitable contribution donation deduction. And it asks you, is this matching, kind of in words to this effect, does it match the mission? As a matter of fact, I'll tell you a funny story about that. So I had a woman, she was probably 35, and she was hired to nurse an 85-year-old man who in the last week of his life, very wealthy man, in the last week of his life married her. Now, aren't you shocked? This has never happened before. He married her, she inherited everything, and he was a collector of Remington bronzes. Do you know what Remington bronzes are? Okay, so we had 2 Remington bronzes taller than I that were the cowboys on big mounted horses, like this. They were about to shoot something, so both of them, big, life size. And after she had inherited all this money and this big house in Montecito, she said, okay, let me give to the charity I most have a heart for. What was that charity? It was the Battered Women's Shelter. She tried to give 2 Remington bronzes. I said, you know, there's this thing that's the parity of, you know, it should be like to like. She said, Elizabeth, I won't hear of it. I want them to go to the Battered Women's Shelter. End of story, make it work. So I actually talked to them and I said, wouldn't it be nice if she donated some money to make 2 concrete plinths at the entryway of 2 people, you know, 2 cowboys shooting? They bought it. They said, yeah, great, let's do it. So there is a Battered Women's Shelter, not in Santa Barbara, but I can't tell you where, with 2 Remington bronzes guarding the entry door. If you remember, like things go to like organizations, and when you do a donation, you should be thinking about whether or not the object is ever going to be shown. So I always tell people that come to me and say, I really want to give it to the Met, or I want to give it to LACMA. You know where it's going to end up? Basement. If you give it to the smaller museums, you have a much better chance of it actually being enjoyed.